Hello everyone, good afternoon, my name is Ondřej, and I really like the previous presentation. It introduces us to a completely new typology of deep rise, right? Which is wonderful. Okay, I'm here on behalf of Czech-based studio, Czech and Slovak-based studio, Chybik and Kristoff, currently settling ourselves in London, in the UK. We are a studio of 60 architects, founded 12 years ago by two of my friends and colleagues, Ondřej and Michal. And before introducing our UNBUILT project and also to understand the topics and visions that are important to our studio, I think it's good to explain the environment that we started our profession as an architect, and it's Czech Republic. And basically, we all finished our studies, let's say, 12, 15 years ago. Together with having an opportunity to get an international education and international work experience, we started a company in an environment that was really fastly developing. We managed to enter competitions for several large-scale projects, and the environment in Czech Republic was a little bit behind, let's say, Western Europe, with a large need to redevelop and rebuild the existing real estate. With this environment, we actually managed to deliver even right after school to compete with, let's say, large-scale competitions with important public projects, and we managed to grow this to grow the studio to this size. This year we published our first monography, first book, summoning up the first decade of the studio, and it's been issued this autumn. It's present in 14 projects, 14 buildings done by our studio. And what's interesting about this book is that the buildings are talking about themselves, about their relation with the end users and with their environment. Since the beginning, we were trying to work not only in Czech and Slovak Republic, but also abroad. And on the left part of the screen, there is our first finished project abroad. It was here in Milan. It was Czech Pavilion for the World Expo in 2015. And considering the year of 2015, we already were thinking like this expo, this whole thing being kind of a large waste of material and resources. We teamed up with Czech company producing modular constructions, modular structures, modular buildings, put together this proposal, won the competition, and after the expo finished, we managed to transport this building back to Czech Republic, where it's now standing as headquarters of the company. On the right side, it's showing more of the ambitions of the studio, and it's a proposal that we prepared together with Thornton Tomasetti, their New York studio, to reuse vacant office tower in New York City and to transform it into mixed use, including residential. And now I would like to introduce our UNBUILT project. While preparing this entry, I was asked to introduce a project that was unbuilt, but it's important for our studio. So I've selected our competition entry, unsuccessful one, for Prague main train station renovation. It's a recent competition. It's not been officially closed. The results are going to be published 27th of November. And we teamed up together with Colorado's based landscape architect Civitas and delivered build a team, were selected to the first round and didn't proceed to the second round. So actually I'm very curious about the results. The main topic was to renovate Prague main train station, one of the most important buildings in Czech Republic, one of the most important infrastructure buildings that we have. It's a building that provides first impression to 70,000 passengers every day. And when we were thinking how to approach this, we were this is not only about architecture. Architecture is like 30% of it. We managed to put together a large multidisciplinary team, including not only architects and landscape architects, but also sociologists, historians, traffic specialists, and many others. Here is to explain maybe a little bit the context of the competition proposal. The competition proposal asked for a new solution and redesign of the railway station or park, train station park, and a new building of a train station. It's very close to the city center. The park is one of the largest that is close to the city center, very important spot. And the building that was originally built in 1979 was already in that time was an addition to the old building which is above, heritage protected, very nice historical building. And the building from the 80s, the main idea of the design was not to compete with this historical building. It was the most important part of the concept, not to compete with it, but to provide some, let's say, strong architectural gesture, but more within its interior and with the interface with the public space than with the volume itself. The interior concept and the detailing is something that yet is not, it's not heritage protected, it's not listed, but it has some value and some strong conceptual things, some ideas that we figured out that are worthy to preserve and to follow. And then maybe our architectural proposal doesn't need to include any strong architectural gesture, any additional gesture. We decided to follow the concept, the principle of palimpsest, which is actually an old pergamon used for writing, then scratch down, rewrite it again, where you can see all the layers of the history. And starting with the park, we proposed, we actually saw that the park itself, it should provide two major functions. It should have the destinational function, it should have the transit function. With the destinational function, we decided to preserve as much greenery as there is, to preserve as many artworks, and to create actually the destination, which was not originally there. We canceled the parking spots on the roof of the train station, of the departure hall, and equipped it with this kind of winter-summer activities, which was meant to be the major part of the destinational park. And then allowed free, seamless transit for all the passengers without any unnecessary barriers. This was the park, and with the building itself, we decided to follow the original concept, to let the building blend with the environment, not to compete with the original historical building, but to insert there our own layer, which is represented in the middle by the stairs. The original concept of the building was actually a cave. It was a cave without any daylight, which is kind of a strong concept, but it's very problematic. Now, these days, the building is not very loved by the locals. We decided to use this concept to follow it and to equip it with additional daylight, to create a tunnel for the daylight at the end of this cave. We identified that part of the structure is actually pretty common, normal concrete structure without any heritage values, without any protected elements. And this part of the building we selected as the one for our contemporary intervention. The rest should not be changed, should not be modified that much, like except of the operational changes. And in this part, we inserted a new element. Here it's visible starting from the left. It's 80s. The red one is done by us, and 19th century is the original building. So it works like that previously mentioned palimpsest of layers of architecture, and we managed to create this new visual connection with the old building, with the historic building, and managed to bring more daylight in. Together with all the optimizations of the operational schemes, optimizations of the retail, we managed to provide the stakeholders, the jury, and all involved authorities, kind of complex scheme for this project. The building was cleaned. It was no need for the ramps to the roof. It blended with the park and provided this new destination and make the indoor environment actually much better. Here we even tested the sequence, how it works, if the original context was preserved. So while entering the building from the park in the trains near the train station, you can still see the old building. While entering, you then are do not have this feeling being in a deep dark cave, but this daylight appears and this historical building. And that's all. That was our first round submission. We didn't win, but for us it was one of the greatest experiences actually working with an international team, working on a major, large project, and with other 4 wonderful international competitors. And 27th of November, results of the competitions are being published, and stay tuned, it's going to be probably very interesting. Thank you very much.